Howdy everybody, David here, and we're going to take a look at the new Tiefling Variants that are in the new Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Now, whenever you choose your Tiefling, you are going to get a numerous amount of features for that race. First off, now if you're going to just make a normal Tiefling, you're not really going to need to worry about the variant stuff yet. But when you do start choosing variant rules, you're going to have to take some things away to add new things. So, core, just plain Tiefling, you're going to get an intelligence bonus increase of 1 and a charisma score increase of 2. So keep that in mind. Now, for your age for your Tiefling, the Tiefling will mature at the same rate as humans, and they live just a few years longer. Now, as for alignment for your Tiefling, that is up to you totally on how you want to play your Tiefling, whether if you want to play more of a neutral role, more of a do-gooder, or maybe some mischievous, evil Tiefling. Tieflings don't have to be evil just because they're the offspring of, Asmodeus. They don't have to be evil. Okay, so to continue on, your size of the Tiefling is going to be medium. Your speed is going to be 30 feet. You're going to get dark vision. Dark vision is going to allow you to see dim light within 60 feet of you as if it was bright light. And darkness you'll be able to see for 60 feet as if it were dim light. And then all of the colors that you see while using your dark vision will be in shades of gray. Now, you're also going to get hellish resistance for a Tiefling. This is very nice. And this is where you get resistance to all fire damage. And if you don't know what resistance means in 5e, that means that you only take half the damage. So if you take 30 damage from a fireball, then your resistance, because your hellish resistance, because you're a Tiefling, you only take 15. Really nice. Next, after Hellish Resistance, you are going to get Infernal Legacy. And Infernal Legacy is where you're going to be able to cast a certain amount of spells. So at level 1, you'll get Thaumaturgy, you'll get that cantrip. Then at level 3, you'll be able to cast Hellish Rebuke. And then you'll be able to cast that once a day. And you'll be able to cast that as a second level spell. So that's pretty nice. Then when you reach 5th level, you'll be able to cast the Darkness spell once per day. So that's going to give you, Infernal Legacy is going to give you 3 spells. It's going to give you the Thaumaturgy cantrip, a second level Hellish Rebuke spell, and then also the Darkness spell. And you can use those once a day, and your Charisma ability score is going to be the spell casting ability modifier for those spells that you cast. Now, you're also going to get a couple languages. You're going to be able to speak, read, and write Common, like everyone else, and the Infernal language. So, now about the variants. That's where you're going to be able to take new things and substitute the old Tiefling things. So this is primarily for the Tieflings of the Forgotten Realms, but I'm sure if you get with your Dungeon Master, he or she will probably be pretty cool with allowing you to, do these Tiefling variants as well, maybe in other settings. Some DMs, maybe they love to stay true to the lore, so it may not be a 100% successful thing that you'll be able to use this. So now for the Tiefling variants, like I said, these are in the new D&D 5th edition Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide. Alright, so the first of these Tiefling variants are going to be about your appearance. So if you don't like the way your appearance looks, you can use this new Tiefling variant and you can change your looks. So right here, your Tiefling might not look like other Tieflings. This is how you want it to look. So rather than having the physical characteristics described in Player's Handbook 1, or the Player's Handbook Core, then what you can do is you can roll a 1d4 and choose 1d4 plus 1 of the following features. You can choose small horns, small fangs, or sharp teeth, a forked tongue, maybe cat-like eyes, maybe 6 fingers on each hand, Maybe if you want goat-like legs or cloven hooves. Maybe a forked tail, leathery or scaly skin, red or dark blue skin. Maybe you don't want to cast shadows or reflections. Or maybe you might want to exude a smell of brimstone. So, if you don't like the way that your tiefling is, maybe your DM, he or she, will allow you to do this. This is a tiefling appearance variance. And just roll 1d4 plus 1, and then choose up to 5 of these, I think that's a pretty cool thing to do. Alright, so the next thing that you can do is there is a feral tiefling variant. Now, whenever you choose the tiefling, you're normally going to get your intelligence increased by 1 and your charisma increased by 2. But when you choose the feral tiefling variant, your intelligence is going to increase by 1, which is going to stay the same, but now your dex is going to increase by 2 instead of your charisma. So if you do decide to use the feral tiefling variant, then you will knock the 2 charisma off, and you'll add 2 to dexterity. So if you're going to make maybe like a tiefling rogue, or something based off of finessed weapons, or maybe a ranger, maybe you might want to consult with your DM. Maybe they'll let you take the tiefling feral subrace, that type of variant. I mean, that would help you out a lot more than, say, the plus 2 charisma would. So that's the feral tiefling variant. Now, next, there is a Devil's Tongue tiefling variant. And the Devil's Tongue tieflings variant is where the Vicious Mockery cantrip. Now, when you reach 3rd level, you can cast the Charm Person spell as a 2nd level spell once a day. Now, when you reach 5th level with Devil's Tongue, you'll be able to cast the Enthrall spell once with this trait. Now, you're going to need to finish a long rest to cast these spells again once you've already cast them. And you're going to need to make sure that you plug in charisma as your spell casting ability. Now, remember, when you take this, you're going to have to replace something. And when you take the Devil's Tongue tiefling variant, it's going to give you the Vicious Mockery cantrip, the 2nd level Charm Person spell, and the 5th level you'll get Enthrall spell. That's going to replace the other spells that you would get from Infernal Legacy. So that would replace the Thaumaturgy cantrip, the 2nd level Hellish Rebuke spell, and also at 5th level you would have got Darkness. So you can take Devil's Tongue, you can take this variant, and get new spells. So very nice. I mean, if you want to go something more offensive, Devil's Tongue would probably be your best bet. So next there's another tiefling variant called the Hellfire Variant. And the Hellfire Variant is, once you reach 3rd level, you can cast the Burning Hand spell once per day as a 2nd level spell. And this trait will replace Hellish Rebuke spell of the Infernal Legacy trait. So remember, at 3rd level, you're going to get Hellish Rebuke for Infernal Legacy. So you'll scratch that out, and you'll replace that with a 2nd level Burning Hands. You're still going to know the Thaumaturgy cantrip, and at level 5, you'll still get the Darkness spell. So the Hellfire variant, all that does is it replaces Hellish Rebuke in Infernal Legacy. Pretty straightforward. Now, here's the most interesting of the tiefling variants, and I actually really like this. And this is the winged subracial trait. And the winged subracial trait will let you have bat-like wings that are going to sprout from your shoulder blades. How cool is that? Now, when you get these bat-like wings, you're going to have a flying speed of 30 feet also. And that will be on top of your regular movement speed. So you'll have 30 movement speed and 30 flying speed. And that's really nice. Now, if you take the winged tiefling variant, you're going to lose the Infernal Legacy trait altogether. So if you take wings, which I almost think that's worth it, because you can get, some pretty nice flying. But remember, what goes up must come down, and fall damage is 1d6 per 10 feet. So take that into consideration for all you flyers out there. And remember, most dungeons are about 10, 12 feet, so you may not be able to fly. So take this into consideration. So whenever you do take the winged Tiefling variant, you're going to replace the Infernal Legacy trait. So you're going to lose the Thaumaturgy cantrip, you're going to lose Hellish Rebuke, and you're also going to lose Darkness. Now remember, if you also take the Hellfire variant, you're going to lose that Burning Hands too. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This actually adds quite a bit of flavor to the Tiefling for 5e. So tell me what you guys think down in the comments section below. Would you guys use any of these Tiefling variants, and which ones would you use? You DMs out there, would you allow your players to use these variants outside of the Forgotten Realms? I want to hear your opinions. So please feel free to leave a comment down below. Also, if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button there. It doesn't cost you anything. And then, until next time, you guys have a good one.